Hello, my name is Tony Adair, and this is my presentation on automation impact. First, let's go over what is automation and what is automation? Well, automation are systems that have substituted human effort and intelligence actions with other means, such as mechanical, electrical, or computerized. So, where did the word automation come from? It was actually first used in 1946 with the Ford Motor Company. It was used to describe devices and controls for production lines and factories that were mechanically operated. This was the first use of the word automation. However, it's not where automation began. So, let's review an automation timeline to discuss how automation began. So in 270 BC was the first use of automation through water clocks, similar to today's modern toilets. But as you can see along this timeline, automation has strongly progressed, especially in the last 20 years. However, 1589, the automated knitting machine came about. In 1760 began the Industrial Revolution, where we saw things like the grain mills, furnaces, boilers, steam engines. We saw the spinning mill get invented. Moving on from the Industrial Revolution, starting in the 1900s, 1910, we saw relay logic come about. World War I and World War II, there was major automation advances, including mass communication and signal processing. In 1956, we saw the invention of cybernetics. It began with learning the game of checkers and using techniques. Artificial intelligence began around the year 1956, and it has not slowed down. So, what is artificial intelligence? Well, artificial intelligence is largely based on human intelligence through the programming of advanced computer science. The characteristics of artificial intelligence include capacity of learning, understanding languages, reasoning, solving problems, and rendering expert diagnoses, and similar mental capabilities. So, in my study, I asked 3 research questions. What is the impact of automation in the workplace? And a couple of little follow-up questions to that. What is the effect of automation on human nature? And what can be done to prepare for the future of automation? So let's get started. Automation in the workplace. Well, automation in the workplace currently has a strong effect on logistics. Logistics, considerably transportation and warehousing, are affected so heavily due to the efficiency and capabilities of robots and AI to do the jobs that humans do, but with much more accuracy. It's actually predicted that between today, with almost 5.6 million jobs in logistics, to about 10 years from now, in 2030, there will be almost a 50% reduction in jobs. That's millions of jobs that will be lost to automation and artificial intelligence just in the logistics industry. And as a matter of fact, automated vehicles are increasingly advancing as well. In recent years, many automobile manufacturers have been releasing partially automated systems. Think about systems like Tesla, many other motorized vehicles that are requiring a human to be behind the wheel, but they're autonomously driving. It's only a matter of time before vehicles have the capability of complete automation without the need for a driver in the cab. When this happens, another major decline of human workers will happen in the logistics field. So, also, according to Cummins, Yamashita, Miller, and Sahu, about 47% of jobs in the United States are at risk of being replaced by automation over the next 2 decades. So if we look outside of logistics, that's 47% of jobs in the United States. That's the estimation. Even President Obama, as he exited office, said the next wave of economic dislocations won't come from overseas. It will come from the relentless pace of automation that makes a lot of good middle-class jobs obsolete. So let me ask, are you prepared? So let's look at human nature to see the effect of that automation in the workplace with human nature. So while automation will affect the workplace, its implications on human nature cannot be overlooked. Looking at functionality, leadership, and possible reductions in human prejudice. So functionality. When reliability is relatively low, particularly around 70%, operators invest as much more visual attention to the supported task as operators working completely manually, and performance does not benefit. Reliability is a crucial, important piece regarding the effects of automation on human performance. Cool. So, what does all that mean? Why does this matter? Well, automation works. Artificial intelligence works. Machine learning works. So companies that can afford to implement artificial intelligence will see an increased value of their organization. So let's use the example of Ant Financial Services Group. They launched just in 2014, so 5-6 years ago, and they built themselves in a digital core, meaning that human workers are very limited, and the system operates almost fully on artificial intelligence. They serve over 1 billion customers, with services such as consumer lending, money market funds, wealth management, health insurance, credit rating, online gambling even. To put this into perspective, they serve more than 10 times the customer base as the largest U.S. banks and have less than 1/10 of the employees. They're valued at $150 billion. It's about half of JP Morgan Chase, which has been around for a long time and really know what they're doing. So when you think about how well Ant Financial Services is doing, just based on their use of artificial intelligence and 1/10 of their workforce, just see that, like I said, automation works, artificial intelligence works, and machine learning works. So leadership. It's a genuine possibility that AI could eventually be involved in leadership decisions and even be people leaders in the future. However, let's take Ant Financial again, like we just discussed. It's holding the savings of hundreds of millions of Chinese customers, and they're relatively new and unproven institution. So imagine if their system was compromised with unchecked algorithms. The implications could be devastating at a global level. This creates a new level and methodology of leadership that will be necessary for the future. So the cool part about artificial intelligence is its implications on human prejudice. There's the possibility of reduction in human prejudice through AI. This possibility could happen through the saliency of robot workers highlighting the commonalities of humans regardless of race, gender, sex, religion, or any other human characteristic. These differences in humankind will seem less critical, which could foster a perception of collective human identity. All right, so we looked at automation in the workplace. We looked at its implications on human nature. Let's talk about how we can prepare for the future. So, there is hope. We just talked about a lot of job loss, kind of a lot of bad things that could happen through artificial intelligence, while increasingly good things for the companies that it supports. But let's talk about some things that we can do to be prepared for the future. So first, we can step up. So stepping up involves getting a degree that requires extensive education. So think of what we're doing right now, getting your master's degree and positioning yourself at work to be profoundly and broadly strategic, which it's going to aid in gaining the intellectual higher ground. The path of stepping up puts you in a strategic position of leadership that cannot be accomplished by computers. Step aside. So this involves using mental strengths that can't be codified, all called multiple intelligences, and they draw on interpersonal and intrapersonal intelligences. Although not limited to artists, think of stepping aside as using mental skills such as comedians making people laugh, sports trainers understanding the needs of athletes, chefs creating delicious new cuisines. Stepping aside can also include careers that require empathy, such as nurses, teachers, or careers that require deep understanding of their trade, such as accountants, consultants, or architects. Stepping in. So this is where we face computers head on and get involved. While computers will be able to make smart decisions and codify nearly anything, they will still be prone to mistakes, or missing aspects of life that cannot be rationally explained. This leaves an opportunity for employment with people that want to work on or with machines and robots. To step in, an individual would need to pursue an education in STEM and continuously update their business domain expertise. Step narrowly. So this is finding a niche specialty of work that has not been economical to automate. That doesn't mean that it couldn't be automated. It just means that it hasn't been economical to do so. So just keep in mind, if you find yourself stepping narrowly, that what you do step into could eventually be automated. So while automation could do the work you do, it wouldn't be economical to create the robots to do it. Stepping narrowly would involve knowing a distinct line of business very thoroughly without varying far outside of your field of knowledge. I was thinking stepping narrowly for me would involve opening a food truck. Stepping forward is getting involved with the building, creating, and designing robots and AI tools. Stepping forward requires you to develop skills through education, application, and practice in computer science, artificial intelligence, and analytics. The path of stepping forward requires forward thinking, and outside of the box ideas requirement for the next level technology will always be present. So there you have it. That's my presentation on automation impact and ways to think about what it's going to do for our workforce in the future, its effects on human nature, and things we can do to prepare for the future. Here's my references I used for my article. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation, and please reach out to me with any questions. Thank you.